this. All right. Greetings to everyone joining us for today's episode of Parental Chat with Super O. Our guest is a veteran. He's no other than Mr. Francis Oahmire. He's a wonderful person. He's an amazing father. Um, he's also an educator. He's a veteran. By the time he starts talking, I'm sure you will know that he's a veteran. Mr. Francis, you're welcome to today's episode. Let me
Yeah,
allow you to introduce yourself again.
th- thank you very much for having me. I am Mr. Francis Oahimere, popularly known as FG. I want to appreciate you for this opportunity to speak to the world. God bless you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. All right, so we will just dive in immediately. Like I mentioned earlier, you are a parent, and would you want to share your parental journey with us so far? How was it like? What was the journey like? What was the struggles like? What were the ups? What were the downs? Just share with us. Let's see how your story can make the world a better place.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Before I will start, let me just start with this. We got married um, 14 years ago, absolutely. Then we had delay in childbearing. We had delay in childbearing, and to God be the glory. Our first child came exactly 3 years ago, 2022, and the second one came just 2 months. And God has been so wonderful. You know, when what you have been looking for years, when they came, suddenly you will embrace them like gold, cherish them. So the journey started 3 years ago as a father, but 15 years ago as an educator. So God has been so wonderful. And what really happened is that parenting is very dynamic in nature. What worked for A might not work for B. So we need to be inclusive in our child raising, taking care of our children. We need to be inclusive as father and as mother. You need to be intentional. Let them know that you are always there for them. That is just it. So training is part of it, not just giving birth, but training is a prerequisite in raising up children if we want to enjoy them in the later future. He said, train up a child in the way of the Lord, and when he or she grows up, he will not depart from it. So, as parents, we need to be intentional in raising up these children because God has given them unto us for a purpose. We are caretaker. God has given them for a purpose so that we will take care of them, so that we ourselves will rest in old age. And who are the people our children are moving with? He said the company you keep determines what accompanies you as humans. You need to know the kind of company your children are keeping. You need to follow them in their study works, what they do at school, and what they do at home. A child can live a double life at home and at school. We have seen that in different times, countless of times. When some parents will come to school, they will tell you that, oh, my child is not like this. And the teacher will tell you that this is what your child is doing. And the parents will still be arguing that, no, my child is not like this. We need to be intentional. Parents, teachers, and the community. When we're growing up, it's not only parents that train up the children, even community, they help. But now you see somebody scolding your child, the parents will be wearing long face, which is not supposed to be, which is not supposed to be. So your eyes as a father, your eyes as a mother cannot reach everywhere. We need to know this as parents, first of all, know what your child, the company your child is keeping, and be a friend to them. That is just it. Number one thing, be a friend to them. Once you are a friend to them, they will open up to you. They will open up to you, tell you what they are facing, the kind of challenges they are passing through, the kind of things they are passing through, the kind of friends they keep, and other things. So you as a parent that have the experience, you will call them to order if this and this and this are not suitable for you, then you tell them why and why they should desist from this, why they should desist from this. You guide them towards that path. That is just it for raising children. And in terms of their academics as well, parents, I know the work ethic, but notwithstanding, we need to find time. We need to find time to be inclusive concerning their academics. No matter how busy I am, I make sure that I check my daughter's book, what she's doing at school, what she's doing, and whatever I'm not comfortable with, I call the HM. Oh, ma, what is happening with this? What is happening with this? What is happening with this? So we need to be inclusive with that, so that at school they will know that, oh, if I'm not doing this, the parents, this particular time, like today when I went to pick my daughter from school, I noticed that all the window was shut. I said, what happened? How can you just put it, children? They say, are you sure the AC is on? I have to enter there and confirm it myself to confirm that yes, the AC was actually on. So as parents, we need to be very inclusive. Money does not raise children. Money does not raise children. Money is a prerequisite, but it's not the number one aspects in raising up children. Money is good, but notwithstanding, with our presence is far more important than money. Than money. Our presence is far more important. You see children that they give money to and all sorts, but they lack home training. Home training is very, very vital. It's very vital. We have seen situations whereby as parents, you leave inheritance for them or untrained children, and everything will be what eroded away, which is not supposed to be. So we need not to shy away from this. This is a very important topic for parents. No matter how busy a father or a mother is, you must be inclusive concerning the training and retraining of that child.
All
Thank you.
right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Francis. You have said a whole lot. One of the things that I picked from what you said is your presence is more important than your presence. So
Yeah,
presence
completely.
is more important than presence, and that goes a long way. I know that you have experience in the classroom. You are no longer in the classroom now, but you had loads of experiences in the classroom. Yeah, before we even dive into your classroom experiences, um, let's go back in time to how you were parented. The way you were parented, does it have any impact in how you are parenting now? I know you mentioned something about inheritance, leaving inheritance for your children. So I'm asking, it's two in one to say, oh, as a parent of this generation, what's most suitable inheritance do you think a parent of this generation is meant to give his or her children? So it's two questions in one. Thank you.
Let me take the second one first.
Okay.
The number one inheritance parents should leave for their children is good and quality education. Good and quality education, backed up with what? Necessary training. Not just education, but backed up with necessary training. That is the number one inheritance a parent will leave. We need to show them the roads and show them how to navigate the way. That is just it. Show them the road and show them how to navigate the way. That is, we are shepherds to them. So that is the number one inheritance, not houses, not this thing. So there are some houses that will be obsolete in the nearest future, but education and training will be there for them for a long time. Please, I don't know the first question you said earlier. You said a two-in-one question. I believe I've answered the second question.
Yeah,
The
so
second one, the first one was?
Yeah, so the first question I asked you is, um, with your experience in the classroom,
Okay,
with
okay,
your experience in the classroom, no, I'm not even sure I remember what the exact question is again.
okay,
But with your
okay,
experience in the classroom, what advice would you want to
okay,
give uh, parents of this generation?
okay. Let us begin with this. If children of this generation, they are very wise and intelligent. They are very wise and intelligent. My advice for parents is to what? Is to come down to this children level. If you think that, yes, you want to use the kind of training, the kind of discipline in our own days, it won't work now. I could remember when I was in secondary school, what my granddad, I grew up with my grandparents. What they do is that they won't beat you during the day. They will make sure my granddad beats at 1 a.m. But we can't do that now. We can't do that now. Now that government is saying no more cane in schools, no more cane in classroom. But parents should come down to this children level and talk to them as friends. See them as your friends. See them as your children. Open up to them. One-on-one discussion. Sit down with them. What is your problem? What is the issue? How may I come in? By the time you come down to their level, they will open up to you. They will open up to you. That is the number one thing, not coming to them with harshness. No, see them as your friends. That should be the number one aspect. Then sit down, one-on-one discussion. Hey, young man, what is the problem? What problem did you face today? How may I come in as your friend or as your father to be of help to you? What problem are you facing? How may I come in as a mother or as a friend to be of help? So all these things put together, it brings a strong bond between the children and their father or their parents. So that is it. Open heart discussion. That is my number one advice. Open heart discussion. Let it be one-on-one, a roundtable discussion between among them. Then and again, parenting should be in one voice.
Oh, okay.
When the father is talking, the mother should back the father up. But if there is anything contrary, let it be done outside where the children are, so that there won't be chaos, there won't be breach. So parenting is very dynamic. Like I said earlier in the introduction, what works for this might not work for this. So we need to, like you said, let us invite the Holy Spirit. We need to seek the intervention of the Holy Spirit as well to back. Like my daughter knows that Sunday is for church. So we don't need to shy away from that. Whatever God you are serving, if you are a Muslim, if you are a Christian, make sure that you draw these children to the God that you are serving. You draw them to the God that you are serving. And another thing, super. Another thing is that we teach these children what we are not doing.
Hmm.
Most parents,
Yeah.
we teach these children what we are not doing. We say, do this, and they know that their father, their mother is not doing that. They know all this. So that is the issue. Training must come first by leading. By leading. Your son, your daughter must see you that, yes, you are leading by example. They must see you that way, that you are leading by example. That is what parenting is very dynamic. You cannot tell a child that you don't drink, and as a father, you are drinking. They know all these things. The children of these days, they are very wise and very intelligent. What you think they don't know, they know better. You can't tell a child that, oh, don't make sure you don't follow bad gangs, don't follow this, and the kind of peer group you are moving with as a father. The kind of people you are moving with, they are seeing it. So parenting, we must be very, very cautious with these children. God has placed them in our hands so that we should guide them properly. So that is it. Number
Hmm.
one, good training and proper education. Then, as an educator, like what I said, we must lead by example.
Yeah, thank
We
you,
must
thank you,
lead
thank
by
you, thank you
example.
so much for sharing. Yeah, it's been an amazing time with you so far. And the question that I wanted to ask that skipped my mind, I've remembered right now. And I said, the way you were parented, does it have any impact on how you are parenting now? Or is it because you are an educator, that is why you are saying all of this? You know, I want to know.
The way, if I use the method, the way I was brought up with this generation, my granddad almost chopped off my fingers.
Wow.
With this generation, it won't all go well, but it's really having an impact. I
Okay.
was being instructed, I was being parented with what? With eyes. Eyes. When I see my grandmom eyes, I know the meaning. But this generation, when you are looking at them as a mother, they will just be laughing at you. Why is your eye like this? Or as a father, they will tell you that, ah, daddy, what is wrong with your eyes? But we understand science language growing up. We understand all these things. But I believe as an educator, it has given me a wider view
Okay.
how to raise my own biological children. It has given me, because I've seen it all. I've seen it in the classroom. I've seen it outside. I've seen it in training. I've had it a lot training and retraining. And the one I learned as well from my parents. And it has really helped me in raising up these children that God has given unto us. So it has a lot of effects. It has a lot of effects.
All
It
right.
has a lot
Thank
of
you.
effects.
Thank you so much for sharing. Yeah. So as a coach, I have seen a whole lot. And before even professionally picking up the coaching career, I have also seen a whole lot. And one of the things I want to just speak to before asking you your next question is I've realized that a lot of parents just leave parenting to chance, so you get a job as a graduate training, you upskill, you upskill. Even these phones that we use now, by the time you go to the app, you see upgrade. There's always an upgrade. But for parents, we don't want to upgrade at all. We just leave it to chance. And somehow, if you don't parent well, something else will help you do the job. And now we
Mm,
are in an era where there are a lot of things that can help your parents. You help your children to parent them, a
mm,
whole lot. So I think it's time for parents to just change the narrative to say, oh, I don't want to leave this thing to chance. I want to, let me use the word you use. I want to be intentional, you know. And one of the things I have also seen is we have a lot of dysfunctional families. One of the things you mentioned that I'm just going to speak to a little more is we don't have congruent parenting. Congruent parenting is when there's alignment from the mother and the father, and all of the children know that there is an alignment in this family. So
mm,
if you ask a lot of families now that what is their family value, they don't even have anyone, you know,
mm,
what
mm,
and what. So sometimes one of the things I have seen a lot of people do is just unspoken words. You don't say it, you just expect by default the children should pick it up. And they are confused. They don't even understand, you know, what is happening, and outside the fact that the family is even the problem, because The root of anything in the society is the family. And it's because we have kind of failed ma- majorly in the family dynamics. That is why the society is the way it is now. And in the classroom, I am sure you will see a whole lot of the dysfunctional family. You will see a lot of kids that are something in the house, they are another thing in the school. So let me give you a practical example. I used to have a student way back that had this lesbianism tendency. So in the school, she used to somehow find a way around it. And one of the kids she wanted to pick as a prey reached out to me to say, I am not comfortable with how this person is touching me. I am not comfortable with how this person is looking at me. I'm not comfortable with everything about this person. So I had to call um the person in question to say, oh, what is happening here? You know, she could open up to me because I was there to listen and not judge her. You know, she felt a lot of identity confusion. And unfortunately, she didn't know who to speak to. So, as parents now, so this is going to bring me to my next question to say, oh, you are in the space where you deal with a lot of adolescents, and it's at that point where they're transitioning from a child to an adult. So, a lot of identity confusion now that we have a lot of gender, blah, 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 and all. Social media is presenting unrealistic expectation and all of that to them. If a parent is struggling with parenting an adolescent, what best advice would you give that parent from your own angle as an educator? To say, oh, this and this and this and this are things that I would recommend that you put together to help this child transition easily. Don't forget that the child at that point is trying to have his or her voice that might clash with who you want. So another clash that this particular student was having was religion. The God that was recommended to her by her parents was not the God she wanted. So when we are doing religious gathering, I am a Christian. So when I'm doing the Christian vibes and all of that, she wants to join. And if for any reason we are taking pictures, she reaches out to say, please, I don't want my face to show in this picture, because it's against what my parents are asking me to do. So how do we do it such that we script these children in the best way that will make God proud?
Thank you very much. Like I said earlier, when a proper training is done from childhood, from beginning, I don't think we get to this level.
Okay.
But when we get to this level, you still need help.
Okay.
As a parent, you need help. That is why we need the help of counselor and a proven mentor that,
Yeah.
yes, that can redirect the step of this child. For about 2 months ago, we lost a particular student. What really happened? I don't know. The guy, I think the guy did something. The boy did something when I was in the class. So I have to invite the mother. The mother came all the way from a bed. At the end, I talked with the mother and were able to settle the issue. So 2 months after that event, this same boy went to the beach, one of the beach on the island, with his friends, said he want to celebrate his birthday. And eventually that was the end of that boy. That was the end of that boy, to the extent that it was after 3 days he saw the lifeless body. All you cannot train in abstracts. The major problem that we are facing in training is broken homes.
Okay.
It's a major problem, especially in public schools, is a major problem. You will see some of these children, they fend for their parents. And what mouth as a father or as a mother will you use to talk to a child that is bringing something home to the table? What mouth? A lot of things in question. I encounter a particular child. What happened? You come to school late every day, every day, every day. Who don't? So I called him one on one. He said the father is a runaway father and the mother is battling with health issue. Then what he does, he will go and do cleaning job in one of the hospital at night. Then that is the reason why he comes to school late. So when we have all this issue, we need to seek help. We need to seek help as parents. Look for a proven mentor that has seen it all. This and this. We have counselors in school. You seek advice that, oh, this and this, that these are what I'm experiencing in the life of this child. How may you be of help? You open up as a parent, you don't hide anything. It just for example, you have a lawyer and you have a case. Will you be hiding the case from the lawyer?
Not
No,
at
you
all.
will open up. Is what you open up to the lawyer that the lawyer will fight it, will use as your defense. So that is what we are running from as parenting, that, oh, they will use me as laughing stock. They will use me as this. They will use this as this. You need the child you pamper today might tamper with your peace tomorrow. So we need to open up when something like this is happening. If you know that, yes, this something has gone beyond you as a mother or a single mother or a father, you seek for a proven counselor that can be of help to you. You don't need to shy away from it.
Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing. You have said a whole lot, and I'm so glad that you have been able to give us relatable examples. And one of the things I would just say I picked from what you have said is, even though you have, okay, so one of the things that you mentioned is called an adverse childhood experience. Poverty. Poverty is one of the adverse childhood experiences. Emotional neglect is one of the adverse childhood experiences. Physical abuse, emotional abuse, verbal abuse, all of that are all part of adverse childhood experiences. And they impact whoever experiences it, mostly negatives, the impact. So, and that is why a lot of time with your experience, you will say, you will affirm to what I've said, to say most of those children that are from dysfunctional family, they usually repeat it. There was a video that you shared recently that broke my heart. The video of one student back then in Ikoyi that was caught at Obalende, his toe, and this child happens to be a very, very smart kid back then in secondary school. So, but what happened? He grew up from a dysfunctional family. He didn't take time to reflect on the impact, and the wave just swept him off. He felt that getting money quick or stealing was the way out,
Mm.
and just like you have said, parents need to seek help to say, oh, I have messed up, whether it was something I could control, whether it's something I couldn't control. I have goofed. And now I don't want a repeat of this mistake with my children. It has to be intentional. You have to be intentional about, we have had people that they went through this poverty that we are talking about, and their parents were intentional to say, hey, this thing that has happened to me will not happen to you. Some, it's not even the parent that has scripted them. They by themselves made up their mind. There's one of our old students too. He's doing very well. Um, he was the head boy of his sets. He did science and moved immediately to. He grew up on the island, Lagos Island. he switched immediately to commercial. Now he's doing very, very well. Very, very well. It was not the parent factor now. It was me factor to say, oh, I don't want to repeat this mistake. I don't want to continue this way. Now, where a professional coach would have to come in, or a professional would have to come in, is even when you have made it financially, or you already script success, you know, somehow you still have to heal from those experiences. If not, they will still impact how you parent or how you do life. So you still need help. The same way we
Yes.
do annual checkup with our health, you need to do annual checkup with your mental health. Sometimes those past triggers the present and impact your
Mm,
future. So
mm,
you a lot of parents that's made up that had maybe physical abuse experiences, or maybe they witnessed their parents going through domestic violence. Most of them vowed at that point to say, I will never repeat it. And somehow they have become that same monster that they didn't want, because they were not just intentional. Sometimes you need a therapist to help you heal,
definitely.
so you just need to be intentional. And that is why we are having this conversation, to let people know, oh, it is not business as usual. Instead of us recording more death cases, more suicide cases, more losses, or scripting out people that we would not be proud of. What can we do differently to make sure we change the narrative by speaking up and letting you know, oh, you can seek for help. There is help
Mm,
in your corner. There is help with that teacher that you need to collaborate with.
mm,
There is help with you being intentional about getting a trusted adult that can help your child become that we used to have a community. Now we don't have that community again,
no, no, no.
where if you are going on the street, one neighbor does not need your parents consent to give you knock on your head. We don't have that now. It is um me and me and me alone kind of life that we are
Mm,
living. So
mm, mm.
we still need to do what we have to do. Thank you very, very much for sharing with us. I don't know if you have any final words that you want to share with us today.
I just want to appreciate you for giving me this rare opportunity to speak to the world. God bless you, super. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for coming. Thank you. It's an amazing time with you. I look forward to having you some other time where we will just rub mind and chat again. It's just about empowering the next generation that God will be proud of. So whatever we need to do in our sphere of influence, we will just keep going ahead to do it every step of the way. And I pray that God will keep helping us. God will bless
Mm,
you, bless you, bless you, bless your family. Thank you very much for showing up. God bless you.
my pleasure.
Yeah.